Hi guys and welcome. Today we're going to make this beautiful loaded pocket journal card. So lots of extra journaling space for your journals or your junk journals. And I'm going with a butterfly theme with this one, which is the stamp set I've used is a darkroom door one. And this one's called Spread Your Wings. So it's got 3 size butterflies in it and some beautiful words and sayings. Now, if you want to know the code, it's DDRS220. Now, Darkroom Door, they're an Australian company, and unfortunately they have closed their doors the end of May, but you still may be able to get them through some of your craft stores. And they are available worldwide. So no matter what country you're in, you may still be able to get it. So I've just made some tags to go in this, and they're plain on the back, as you can see, but you can put anything in there. The beauty of this is it's all made out of a 12 by 12 piece of paper, cardstock, so one sheet wonder type of thing. And I've just put the 3 size butterflies on each pocket there, just with some wording. And then there's a journaling space on the back. So the cardstock I'm using is this one, and it's a 49 market one, and it's just absolutely beautiful in the neutral tones. All right, so let's put these ones off to the side, and we'll just load that. You can put tickets and everything in these. I've just used the stamp set to the fullest and just done some like 2nd generation stamping and stamped out on some coloured cardstock to create some additional images, cut them out and stuck them on for a bit of dimension in the project. Now you've got your 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, and the first one you want it to be 5 inches wide. So we'll cut it at 5 inches. And then we want it by 9.5 inches because we want it 7.5 inches high, but we want to fold the first pocket over. So if we first of all cut it at 9.5, so then you've got 9.5 by 5 inches, and then we want to score it at 2 inches. So work out, turn it round the other way and score it at 2 inches, and then fold it up. That becomes your first pocket. The next piece for the second pocket, we want to cut a piece 5 inches by 4.25. So 5 inches is the width of our journaling card, so that's why they're all the same width. And then we want to cut a piece at 4.25. And then that one will form our second pocket. We're going to ink that so we differentiate. Now keep these pieces because we're going to make some journaling cards and tags out of those, as you've seen before. So I'll pop them off to the side, put our cutter away for the time being. I'm going to bring in an inking page. Turn that over so you actually, I'll get rid of that one so you can see what we're doing. So I'm going to round the corners on this as well. I'm going to do that first, then I'm going to give it a bit of an ink. You don't have to round the corners, it's entirely up to you. I find by rounding the corners though, they don't get tatty over a period of time, especially on pockets where you're slipping things in and out of it. And now I'm going to give it an ink. So the ink colour I'm using is Walnut Stain, so it's probably one of my favourites. I do also like Scorched Timber. And you can choose how heavy or light you want to go on your inking. I'm going pretty heavy on this one because it's got some grunge already on the page. It's a pretty simple project, this one. You can use this Loaded Pocket Journaling Card as just a freestanding piece in your journal where you just clip it in with a paper clip, or you could actually fix it to your page. So if this was your journal, for example, you could fix it to your page and have it as a big pocket, so you could put it down the bottom towards the bottom of the page, have that as a pocket or have it as a top pocket. Otherwise you could just clip it in, top or bottom, entirely up to you, because you've got all this extra journaling space on the back. So I'm actually going to leave mine free like that, where I can pull it in and out of my journal. So now I want to glue these down. So I'm going to use art glitter glue to glue these down, and I'm just going to glue on the sides. I won't worry about the bottom because it's going right to the crease anyway. So turn it over, it goes right to the crease. You fold it up there to align it. And then we just want to glue the two sides of the front pocket. And there's your card so far. So now we want to decorate it a little bit. So I'm going to pop that one off to the side. We'll grab our stamps. Now I've pre-stamped and pre-cut these, but I'm going to stamp a couple with you guys. I just wanted to save some time because you don't really want to sit here and watch me cut out butterflies. So the first big butterfly I used cream cardstock. And as you can see with my hand, this is how big this butterfly is. It's absolutely beautiful. But you could work with flowers, birds, anything you want to decorate these. I stamped a heap of these out the other day and took to the hospital. My husband was having surgery, and I knew I was going to be in the waiting room for a long time. And so I sat in the waiting room, I think it was 7 hours in total, and took a heap of my fussy cutting with me, and you know, I varied it around as well. I was scrolling through Pinterest, and you know, I had some lunch in the cafeteria and things like that, so it sort of broke the day up. And with the fussy cutting, it actually took my mind off, so it reduced the stress a little bit. So that's the big one. I put it on cream cardstock. Then the next one, I use this beautiful coloured cardstock, and it's sort of like a handmade. I do have these in my shop, as well as the green I use for the third butterfly. I use these a lot, guys. There's a few different colours in it too. There's a red, a blue, a charcoal. Really great texture to them, and they take the ink well as well. And the black ink I'm using is VersaFine Clair. If you don't have different cardstock with your stamps, then just stamp it on cream or white. Get your colouring watercolour pencils out, or your inks with a water brush, and colour it in yourself. And then the small one we did on the green. So I'm going to pop those off to the side, and then what I did is I cut them out, and here they are cut out. So I went fairly close to the line, but you don't have to go right to the line because you want that border on your stamped image. When you ink it, which I'm about to do, you'll see that disappears. So if you can see that there's, you can still see some of that colour cardstock out there. This one's probably a better one with the white. When you ink it, that will disappear. So inking, apart from it looks great, it grunges and vintages things up a little bit, it also hides any imperfections on what you're... So see how that just disappears? Great way too to get rid of those raw white edges, even if you're only inking on the edge like that. Like I said, I'm going fairly heavy-handed with the walnut stain because I like the look of it. And you could, if you've got different colour oxide, I'm using oxide ink, you could colour your butterflies that way. Just keep going over it until you've got the ideal colour to get a similar effect to that. So just, use what you've got in there, guys. And you don't have to have a stamp with 3 different sizes. Have 3 different separate images. I was tossing up whether to use the Professor, the Tim Holtz Stampers Anonymous Professor in this project, but because I'd already had some butterflies cut out on my desk, it sort of flowed that way. From, like I said, fussy cutting the other day. In the hospital, and my husband's operation went really well, so thanks guys for all the messages from the other day. It's his 14th surgery since his accident 2.5 years ago, so we're sort of hoping we're getting to the tail end of things. So he's had a shoulder replacement, knee replacement, a lot of surgeries on his leg. He's got a lot of metal work in his elbow. But within himself, he's really, really good. He's a very positive person. And yes, we've only focused on the positives from the start of things. So there are your 3 colours, and they've been inked, as you can see. This one especially, why I love this colour, it gives it a rich caramel colour on the outside. So it gives the butterfly like a 2-tone. I just absolutely love it. Now, actually, one thing I should have done before I inked, I wanted to add some background stamping, but I can still do it because I can mask these a little bit, just so we don't go over the edge. So before you glue them down, guys, if you want some stamping done on the backgrounds there, then do it before you glue your pockets down. So I'm just going to get the black ink off the large butterfly, and I just sort of want a faint background stamping. Now I could stamp it and then stamp it off and then stamp it on, but I'm actually going to use this archival ink color called Pebble Beach. Absolutely love it. I haven't had it that long, and I've just put them in my shop too, because I work a lot with the neutrals, and I think this one's going to be one of my favorites going forward. So I'm stamping the butterfly half off because I just want an image like that, and then over the other side I just want to capture tip of the wing coming on like that, and then the next size down. So I'm going to now tuck that into that pocket. These are post-it notes, really good when you're doing any type of masking because you don't have to use washi tape to stick them down. So I just clean that off again. It's such a beautiful stamp, this one. If you can get your hands on it, guys, you will use it time and time again. And this is just background because we're going to actually stick our cutout butterfly over the top. So it's up to you how much or less you want to do of the background stamping, and you can mix the sizes around as well. And then we've got the small one. Actually, I'll do one more of the larger one down there. And turn them on an angle too. Now we're having a sentiment in the middle there. If we pull those up, and I'm going to put a small one up the top there, and on an angle. Lovely. And if I hadn't have stuck my pockets down first, I would have folded that back and just had, say, a tip of a wing coming out there, which I could still mask and do, but I'm not going to because we're going to stick the big one over the middle of it anyway. And you don't have to use the same stamp as you're using. You could stamp some script or some words, anything like that on there. I just wanted to sort of match what we were doing with these ones. So now I'm going to stick these down. So these ones will go slightly under the pocket like that. And then this one will go there. And then this one will go down here. And I've got a sentiment spread your wings that I stamped out. And this is out of the same stamp set. So we're really utilizing all the stamp set today. And this one is stamped on cream cardstock, the same as your butterfly up the top there. All right, so I'm going to glue those down, and then we'll get on to making our tags. You can make tags, tickets. I've done tags, bookmarks, just journaling cards and put in there, but you could do notebooks. A notebook would be lovely. Now just be mindful with your art glitter glue, there's not a lot of wiggle time, so you need to pretty well much get it in place as quick as possible. Like that. I still have a lot of darkroom door stamps in my shop, guys, Shaz Art Crafts, and I'll put a link down below. They are selling out fast because, like I said, the company's closed, and the stamps are really good quality. They're made out of that etched dark rich rubber, red rubber. And then we'll put our sentiment down first because I want to float the butterfly over the top of it. And float, I mean, I just want it, you know, just coming over the edge a little bit, but I still want it in the center, the same as these other ones. So if you can see, we've just got his wings just coming over the top there. Okay, so we're going to put that one off to the side. And then we're going to work on our cards. So this one will give us a nice long bookmark. I mean, you could even, if you didn't use them all up, you could do a belly band out of it even. So this one here is the one I'm going to be cutting first, and I'll tell you what the size is when I've cut it. So that one is about 6.25 to 6.5. And then we've got this other one which I'll round the corners, so that'll be that one there. And then we've made a butterfly charm on that one. And then the other one that we cut, oh sorry, I didn't tell you what width, they were 2-inch wide. And then the other one is this one here, so it is 3.5 inches wide. And we can probably go a little bit wider on that one. And it's roughly by 5. And our tag, I think we'll go, yeah, we might leave it at that width. I'm just going to cut a template for the top of the tag. So I always cut a strip the same width, fold it in half, then I work out my ears. So you're going to have them exactly the same size either side. I might go that way. Actually, I might go that way. And then you just cut it off. So you're going to get exactly the same either side. And you can keep them as a template. And that's your tag there. So let's pull these over. And we want to do some stamping on these. But before we do that, I'm going to round the corners. Now we're not rounding the corners on all of them. Our long bookmark I've left square, so I'm just going to place that on. So this one here, this tag, I'm going to round the corners on the whole 4 corners. Our tag, we've done the tag top there, so we pop that one off to the side. This one we're leaving square, so it's going to have a tab at the top of it. And then we've got our actual journaling card that we rounded the corners on that. Lovely. So now we're going to do some stamping. So on this one, I'm going to put one of the big one on there first. So I'm having him part off the page. Like that. And then the little butterfly. And just some contrasting around there. So put him off to the side to dry. Our tag, I'm going to put a little butterfly right in the middle because he's going to feature by himself. And then we might put the wings of the medium size one. Off like that. And if you wanted to, you could also put one over there. It's up to you. So it's just trial and error and what you think looks good. And all these are scraps from our 12 by 12 that we cut our journaling pocket out of. And then I'm going to put some little ones on that, I think. Lovely, so that's all our stamp. Oh, got one more here to do. I'm using the medium size one on this one. Lovely. We're going to cover these over anyway, which I will show you. And some of our stamping we will cover over. Alright, so let's do this one first. So we want to ink, we might ink them all quickly. I would nearly have to say that butterflies are my absolute favourite, and I just love this stamp set. I've had this one for a while, and I just haven't used it for a while. And the other day I was going through, and the reason I picked this one out to stamp, to take some stamped images to fussy cut at the hospital, was because it had some beautiful white space in the stamp, because my theory was I've done a lot on the white cardstock as well. I want to play around with my distress watercolor pencils. Okay, so with the big one, all I did was put a tab at the top, and I did that with this green. So I will fold over a piece and use a label punch. So that is the name of this one. They've only not long come out, which is good. So they used to be called whale tail, and then you couldn't get them for a while. And this is the normal size one, and my understanding is there's also a jumbo size as well. Always punch out an extra couple. I've got a drawer with all the spares because you've got the cardstock folded anyway, so why wouldn't you? Pop two in my drawer over there for other projects, and now I'm going to ink this one up. So I'm using the same colour as I've got some stamped images, which I'll show you in a minute, just to contrast through, and I've strategically placed them on different journaling cards so they spread out over the project when I've got the pockets loaded. And then we just eyeball it, put it into the middle up here. Yes, you could put a number, you could stamp another little, if you've got a tiny butterfly or something like that, a word. I'm actually leaving it plain. But one thing I'll show you, like I was saying before, if you don't have coloured cardstock and you want to feature that butterfly on there, you could either use your watercolour, distress watercolour pencils, watercolour pencils of any kind, inks, and a water brush. So if you've got a water brush like this, dip it in your ink and paint it. or just merely, if you've got different oxide colours, just distress it. See how that colours straight away if we turn it around? And there it is featured. I mean, we could do it darker if we wanted to, go to the edges a bit more. Like that, but how good does that look? Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so that one's done. We'll pop him off to the side. Now let's do our, this can be a bookmark, journaling, just a journaling card. This one I did a little stamped image. I did it double layered, which I will show you. I've already got one that's already dried, but what I did was I stamped small ones out on the beautiful caramel yellow cardstock, and then I cut them out. So cut them out individually like that, and then I glued them together, because with a charm you want to be able, no matter which way it falls or flaps, you want to be able to see it both sides, and also it makes it thicker and strengthens it up. I think this cardstock's about a 270 GSM if I was to have a guess. And I cut really close to the line so I could get them pretty well much similar size. If you've got a few bits hanging over, you can either trim it, but be mindful you don't want to trim too much off because you've got your line at the back, or when you ink it, it's going to get rid of it anyway. So I'm going to ink this one that's dry. And don't forget to ink both sides. You might get that paper for you. And then I put a little eyelet in it. So I had a really small, I've got this ball chain, so it's got a fitting that it just slips in. So I'm pretty sure I got them on AliExpress. So I've gone a small eyelet with this one, so I used the small hole on my crocodile. Now I'll just pop my glasses on. I was just looking around my desk for my glasses and they're hanging around my neck. Do you have days like that? So I've gone fairly close to the edge, but not too close. Lovely, so that's the eyelet. Just changing my crocodile back for the next size eyelet. And put my pin in my glue, otherwise my glue will dry out quickly. And then I'm just going to feed the chain through there. Now we need to put an eyelet in the top of this one as well, so we'll go the biggest size hole, and that just what determines that is the size eyelets that you're using as to what hole you punch. flatten him out a bit more. There we go. And then the ball just slips in there and you pull it tight. And you've got a little chain. So a little butterfly charm. Dangle. Alright, so that's that one. Now we want to do our bookmark. Actually, we've got an extra card there. We might do an additional one as well. It's one we didn't stamp. I might quickly stamp that one because we certainly don't want to waste any scraps, and we just want to throw some stamping on there. Give it a quick ink. Leaving the corners square on this one as well. And that one I'm going to put a mustard colour tab up the top. And look, you can put an eyelet in that and have another dangle if you want. I'm actually going to put a feature on there. So as I was saying earlier, I stamped out some on the coloured cardstock and I have cut them out, so the green ones, and I wanted to feature a butterfly across there, and then if I go across there like that, and then perhaps just a part of a wing. So if I go that, and then that maybe. Yep, we might do that. Better ink these ones first. So yes, you lose some of your stamped image, but it doesn't matter. Hang on to those pieces. You might, if you're doing more of this, you might use them, or you might just want to feature it somewhere else, or put it on a cluster hanging off a label. Yep, so we'll glue that one down first. And then this one right to the half, I think, but we will keep the body of it. And then we're just going to trim the excess off. Like I said, keep this because you know you might have a another card or tag that you want to put it on. Then just ink the edges that you've just cut. And there's another beautiful journaling card. Back to our, let's get that paper. Back to our bookmark or journaling card. Now I've done the same, but I've used the caramel butterflies for that, so I will just quickly ink those. So same process as we've just done with the green ones. You could put stickers on these, like have your background stamping and then put a sticker on there, whether it's butterflies or a flower. You could glue some die cuts on there. Now this one here, you'll see that I've actually gone straight onto the stamped image on this one, so I'm going to do the same on ours. Otherwise, you know, you could go that way again, but I'm going to go where I've stamped this time. So it'll give you a different look again. And you might say, yeah, why did I bother stamping those if I'm just going to stick the butterfly on there? Well, great question. Didn't know what I was going to be doing until I did it. And then, like I said, you may decide the other way, but you know, it hasn't wasted anything. Once again, cut these off and keep them. Add them to your scraps. And then this one here is 3/4 of it. And you've still got your tentacles there. I never cut tentacles out because you can never get them done right anyway. And yes, you could have stamped it in black to start with as well if you wanted the black tentacles there. I don't think it matters. You could get a black pen and draw them if you want to. And then we're going to put an eyelet up the top. So once again, keep these. Punch an eyelet up the top. Good. Pin in my glue. Going with an eyelet again, and then we're going to put some beautiful sari silk in there. So this beautiful sari silk. So fold it in half and thread the folded piece through, and then loop it out over the top, and then push your tails through there. That way you get that beautiful fold at the front. Now I'm going to just trim them a little bit. I don't want them too long. So bookmark journaling card, absolutely love this. You could do a similar thing with a notebook. So we've just got our tag to go. And that one is, I've just put an eyelet in this one, so we'll punch an eyelet, and then I put some beautiful green sari silk on this one. So this beautiful sari silk. The creamy one I've used before, because this sari silk's like an ombre, that cream was in a different section of it. So for this piece I picked out the one with the most green in it, just to feature some green. And you could put a ball pin in there and hang a charm off it if you wanted to as well. Okay, so let's load up our pocket. Just grab all our pieces. Before I do that, I'm going to put a tab up the top, and I've gone with cream, the same as we stamped the butterfly, the large butterfly on. Keep your little scraps of sari silk, guys, because they're great to add to little clusters if you just want that little bit of lace or material showing. Yeah, before I started the video, I thought because I was making the prototype, and then I thought I'll just go check on my husband. And anyway, we sat and had a coffee together. It was lovely. Told him, look, I'll be over in the studio for another hour or so, and he said no problem. I think he's going to have a lie down. And then we just grab all our journaling cards, because as you can see, there's all this beautiful journaling spots on the back. This one, so you can sort of see my colorings. We've gone cream green, the caramel color, then we've gone, how did we have it loaded before? Then we had our caramel tab, but our green butterfly, you can see the theme going through there. The plain one in the middle, and then this beautiful one tucked in behind there, but we're featuring him as well. So I might even cut a bit off the bottom of that one. I want it a little bit shorter, and sometimes you won't know that until you start loading. You know, you can change it around too, but I've already got a long one there, so a little bit shorter one. This could also be a bookmark, but beautiful journaling space on the back. I just love 49er market papers, and there's our little charm on the front there. But there we go, guys. Beautiful little project, one sheet wonder. You know, we've used a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, and we've got all of this out of, so it's really hard to believe really until you actually make it. So we've got our little journaling card with our beautiful butterfly charm front and back. Got a tag there, journaling spot on the back. You could even journal on the front of that one. Another journaling card, and don't forget you can put eyelets in those as well. And we've stuck the butterflies on the front, more journaling space on the back. Actually, I didn't ink the back of that one, which I will do. Then we've got a bookmark there, or a journaling card again. I've got to ink the back of these. A big journaling card. You know, you could even go as far as putting a pocket on that and putting some tickets and ephemera in there as well. And there's our 3 pockets. That alone, even without the pockets, you could do as just a large journaling card. You've got all this space on the back. But there you go, guys. Have fun with it. Get your stamps out. Even if you don't have this stamp set, get your stamps out and use them. You know, pick a focal image, even if you've only got the one size of it, and stamp it multiple times on different colors, or get your watercolors out, or your inks and your paintbrushes, and just go to town and have some fun. Do some multiple stamping in different inks as well. But thanks, guys. I hope you've really enjoyed the video today. Don't forget to like and share with your friends. And if you haven't already, would love you to subscribe, a bit tongue twisted there, to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one, guys. Thanks. Bye.